Okay, hello everybody. Little disclaimer, and we're gonna jump right in. No intro now. We'll be making a new intro. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Put it down here. Hopefully volume is loud enough. I think I can increase it. It's actually already increased quite a lot. So I think it should be good. We should be getting a few people in now. I see the notification just went out to anybody who's a subscriber on YouTube. Okay, well, 2026. Happy 2026, everybody. This is going to be a very interesting new year for TRI. It's just Fjord and me running it now. Brian has moved on to his own thing. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, you know, we've got a couple things that I think you guys are gonna like coming down the development process. You know, with AI, we're going to be able to do a lot more than we were able to do in the past in terms of development with a very small team. And Sjord and I have some really cool ideas of a couple things that we think can massively improve trading for everybody at TRI. And we're also looking to get a few members involved in basically helping / working at TRI. So we're in conversation with a couple people, some veterans. I'm not going to name names right now, but you guys would recognize them. They've been around for quite a while, and some of them are extremely accurate with their predictions. So very excited for all of that. It's going to be a lot of work, but I think it'll be worth it, and I think you guys are going to like it. Okay, let's just jump into our normal analysis. I mean, obviously, a lot's happened, right? So Trump invaded Venezuela, which the market, if we go to the S&P, Oracle's not doing so great this morning, but SPX is liking it. The market is liking what happened. I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but I do think overall, obviously, it's bullish for oil. Oil stocks are way up. I can look at like ExxonMobil, right? But it's retracing. And you see how it has a 9 printing on the daily. So you might actually see a bit of a reversal on Exxon. I'd be careful longing any oil names right now. Very careful. So okay, we're going to talk about the S&P. We will talk about some oil names. We will look at silver and gold. I know you guys are interested in those. We're going to talk about Tesla. What is going on with Elon Musk? Elon Musk was eating dinner with Trump. Did you guys see that? Look at this. This is I have to sign into my X account and show you guys. I'm sure you've seen Elon was eating dinner. He was having dinner. I can't get into my X account. Why? Incorrect. What? All right, wait 1 second. It's rejecting me. All right, whatever. I can just show you on Elon Musk and Trump. There we go, right here. This one. So Elon posted on Twitter himself having dinner with Trump and Melania. I mean, that's so their gang is back together. Very, very interesting considering everything that transpired last year. So this is bullish, okay? This is bullish. This is why I really believe this is why Tesla is way up today. Okay, Trump getting along with Elon Musk equals Tesla rocketing higher. That's really all it is. Anything Trump touches, you don't want to short him. Do not short Trump. That's really the answer here. Okay, let's go back to the S&P. So as I said, we're going to go through the S&P. We will talk about commodities. We will talk about oil as well, which of course is a commodity. We will talk about Tesla. and maybe one or two other stock names. If there's anything you guys are interested in, just let me know in the chat and we can take a look. Crypto names obviously are rallying right now. Crypto had a big breakout. I mentioned in the Discord that I had long signals firing for crypto. So you can see here, go up, alt signal last week. So here we go, BTC on a daily. A lot of reasons to pull the trigger. We could get one last shakeout before up. With that in mind, I am long, but not 100%. So not 100%, but I did buy. I said for what it's worth on the 29th, I longed a few alt names heavily down here. And these were the alt names that I longed, and this was my signal. So we're gonna look how far have we moved from this signal on the 29th. Okay, this is why you guys got to be in the Discord. You got to pay attention, because this was the big move. This was the huge signal, and this is what I was watching for. I didn't do anything here. Here I was a bit bullish back in November, but then we had that massive breakdown, and then we stagnated and rolled over harder. And I was just waiting for this breakout. This was a perfect breakout of the downtrend, RSI cross, MACD bullish, everything ready to go and firing on the daily. You wanted to be long here. Now, I mean, it's been 12/29. It's been almost a week, and you can see how much can happen in a week. Okay, so let's go and look at this chart really quick. I just want to reflect on this while we're talking about it. So total 3. On a daily, right? So signal fired when price was 841, and that was right down here. So you can see if you caught that, this is up 6%. Let's look at like something like ton. Ton coin since the 29th around here is up 20%. Look how much this stuff is moving. Big moves across the board on a lot of these names. I think it will continue. I'm going to get into crypto more later. I want to talk about the stock market a bit first. But you can see things like ton right here really quick. It's hitting our 1.618 level. So this could pause here. It's also hitting an 90-day VWAP. So we could get a bit of rejection, retrace, and then a move higher. If you're not long, you want to wait for that rejection and then buy and look for that move up to at least 270. That would be a solid. I mean, if you did get in down here, that would be about 75% return. So, okay, so let's go back to the normal market, and then we'll get into crypto again later. So these red lines are all like resistance levels on my chart, major resistance levels in the event that we do roll over. These are the kind of the levels that I expect. We still have this downtrend, right, on RSI. I'm not a huge fan of that, and that's why I've been cautious about the market, because if this does break down, things could get very bad. But as of right now, it's still holding up. Weekly MACD doesn't look great, but if it can keep pushing higher, we can end up on the other side on RSI, and we could actually move way up to above 7,000, 7,200. Let's see if this W's out. If this W out, oh my God, English, speak English. If we get a W here where we push above 69.50, we could have a nice move higher. Right here, something like that. And then target is up here at 73.50. It seems crazy, but that could actually happen. And the market's looking very bullish right now. It looks like it wants higher. Trump is trying his best to run the economy hot. I could see him trying to get oil, US oil, down even more, right? So oil's at 57. I could see him trying to get it down even further to keep that inflation kind of suppressed while pumping everything else and keeping asset prices inflated, but claiming there's no inflation because oil's not heading higher. I mean, that could be a big thing. So something to keep in mind, that might be his plan, but he definitely wants to run the economy hot, and he doesn't want any of this to roll over. Okay, let's go back to the S&P. Lower time frames here. Yeah, you can see this 4-hour cross, very bullish here. So any kind of rejection on this 4-hour. So first of all, this 4 hours isn't close, right? If this closes here, then any kind of rejection you want to get in longs, because I think this looks like it wants to go way higher. And if the daily can break out and W here, if we get that, we could see a significant move up, 4, 5, 6, 7% on the S&P. And a lot of names are looking really bullish. I know we're at all-time highs, and it seems crazy to say this, but that's what the market's telling us. And if you look at global money supply, right? Let's see, visibility. I want to pin to a new scale. Okay. So this is global money supply overlaid with stocks delayed by about 88 days. On stocks, really, you only need about 65 days, and this does change. But you can see it's pumping very hard. For about a month, they pumped a lot into the market. And if we assume, I would put this more at even 50. So we're kind of in this range period, but by February, I expect us to rocket higher significantly. We could range here for a bit, but this I don't see us rolling over too hard from this. I see it, the market and the global economy wanting to keep the market pumping. Yeah, exactly, Juan. Completely agree. There's the Venezuelan thing is huge. Oh, okay, good to know. Sure, there's too many ads. I just start the stream. I don't really look at that. But the Venezuelan thing is big for energy. So if energy costs can come down, the cheaper energy is, the higher markets, the higher productivity can grow. And that's the real reason this whole Venezuela thing happened. I don't believe it had to do with anything else. I think it was about energy. So from a macro perspective, that's really what it was about. Looking at everything else here, though, this is extremely bullish. And Tesla, of course, I already spoke about it. So let's look at, you know what? Let's look at a few stocks, and then I will get into metals and oil a little bit more. So okay, Tesla first. Tesla on a weekly. Look at this weekly. Get rid of some of this. We're in this uptrend right here on a weekly chart, right? And my eventual target for Tesla is about 570. Hello, OX. Seems like we have a lot of new people here. If you're new here, say something. Say I'm new here or something. I'm just curious because there's a lot of names that I don't recognize. This is the weekly on Tesla. RSI still strong uptrend, no breakdown yet. Rally is not over. MACD also moving higher, although you have some divergence on the weekly chart. But I don't see any significant breakdown yet. And with Elon having dinner with Trump and his wife, that's a big bull sign to me. We washed out all the bears here. There's a bunch of articles coming out recently about Tesla and how Tesla's overvalued. I love seeing that. I love seeing that because that tells me they don't want people to buy. They want people to sell. This was the flush, and now we're getting the reversal. Big weekly push. I want to clear this level. If we reject from this, I would be a little bit more concerned. Honestly, I would love to see this gap filled. So push, fill this gap, and then we push higher. First resistance is going to be here at 485, and then we can push over 45 and move into the 500 area. That's what I would like to see for Tesla. So if you're not long, you can consider longs on a slight pullback down to this 440 area on Tesla. But there's no real breakdown on the weekly. I wouldn't get too bearish. Let's look at a couple other names I've got here. What is pumping today? So Meta's been interesting. Meta's pumping, and the weekly had this 9 bottom, right, and pushed higher and has been consolidating. And on RSI, we essentially had this crossover on a weekly chart, and price is rejecting from this midpoint. It needs to push higher from here. Right now, the daily is kind of stagnant. It's not an amazing long, okay? I like it. I'd like to see it fill this gap, but it's not an amazing long. I am in a long trade with it, but I'm on the fence. So I'm kind of just watching. If we do break down again below like 635, I will cut this trade. Okay, well, welcome. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Usually see other names in here, but they're not here right now. Well, if you guys have anything you're interested in, you want to look at, just ask me. I'm happy to look into anything that you guys are interested in right now. That's the reason it's a live show. Okay, let's see. I also have, so of course, coin, right? Coin is rocketing higher as a Bitcoin proxy, and it looks amazing. If this daily closes up here, I mean, I don't think you can get a more picture perfect chart for a potential W move higher. This looks pretty good. Let's see here. I'd like to see us on the other side of this trend line. Obviously, we're still in a bit of a downtrend, but if we can close up here and either push a bit higher or retrace and do something like that, like this is my quintessential bull setup. So even push a little bit higher, retrace, fill this gap, and then take off. That's what I'd really like to see. I want to see bulls kind of I think people are getting too bullish right now. I want to see them get destroyed a bit with a little bit of a quick pullback, flush, and then we can move much higher. Let's actually look at what is the fear and greed index saying right now. Look at Max Pain. Check this out. Got the heat map. Fear and greed. Oh, actually, it's still at 26. Oh, maybe we don't get a pullback. We might just rally. It's interesting. All right, I was hoping this would be a little bit higher. Oh, okay, market is still fearful. Also, if we look at the heat map, I don't think this heat map is great, right? You have to kind of take this with a grain of salt. Really not much down below on the heat map. I mean, you have something at 87, but I don't see it happening. It's too far away. On a 12-hour, you can maybe get a little bit of a pullback. Oh, no data. Look at that. Huh. No data. Okay, it's not working. They don't want us to know what their plan is. A lot of liquidity here, down to 87, 1.5, and almost nothing on the upside. That's interesting. Bit here, a lot on the downside. Here it's pretty equal distribution. Okay. That's what I'm seeing on something like coin. I don't think the huge move is going to come right away. With Bitcoin, I could see us tag 95K right above here. This is going to be a big liquidity area, obvious resistance, and then a potential pullback. I do think that you missed most of the move. This was very strategic on January 1st. Very tricky, very evil crypto to rally when everyone was basically hungover and tired from New Year's. This is typical crypto. So don't beat yourself up too hard if you missed this. It's most people probably did. I even only had a signal on altcoins. I didn't even get the long signal on Bitcoin until the long signal on Bitcoin would have been right here on the around the 31st, 30th, 31st. But I kind of missed it and it wasn't clear. MACD was obvious, but I was not as heavily long in Bitcoin as I would have liked. And partially that was because of the holiday and I was having to drive like 7 hours a day. Yeah, for amateurs, these are Tesla, NVIDIA, MSTR, the most interesting. That's what the crowd is interested in. If you want to look at something more unique, you can mention some stuff that you're interested in. Constant Ketat, I can't pronounce your name, but why don't you mention a few things that you like, and we can take a look at it. In terms of stocks, I've got another name, Turn. This one rallied massively, and I put a short on it up here. It looks very bearish on a weekly chart and a daily. It's also starting to break down, very bearish. So I have a short on this. I'd like to see it head back down to $10. So Constantine, okay. This is one I'm in a short on Turn Pharmaceuticals. I'd like to see a nice retrace. So you could see this could provide a very nice return, negative 78%. So I put a 10K short on that I'm currently up 4%. So I opened it at 39.50. So that's when I like. If it spikes back up here, obviously I'll exit. Okay, Fjord asked about pool. Yeah, OX, I might be doing streams Monday and Thursday, or Monday and Friday, one of the two. We'll see. We're gonna work out a schedule because Brian's not gonna be doing daily briefs anymore. So I'm gonna see how many times a week I can do this and how much value we get out of it. I know people like to watch like TikToks and shorts now, so I'm not sure how much people like the long form streaming content. So I have to Stuart and I have to kind of talk about it and see what what resonates with people and what's going to help the channel grow. We really want to grow the channel. Okay, Pool Corporation. What does this do? This is, look at this one on a weekly chart. Well, this is the pool is in my buy zone. Right, this is my buy zone. I mean, we could, wow, this is crazy. What the hell happened in 2010? We could pull this all the way down here. And you can see we're even at the 61.8. Like, this is a perfect level. Regardless of where you draw your fibs, both areas are amazing. I really like how this looks, at least in as far as a location, from a location standpoint. And on daily, it also looks good. Nice breakout, possible reversal. Obviously, it had a heavy downtrend here, and we don't have that full bull trend reversal, but there are the beginnings of something. And even on a 3-day, nice reversal. This could be a really good play. The question is, how would I play this? I think I would play this with options. I mean, I have to look at the volatility on the options. Let's see, pool. Pool in the NASDAQ. Usually I like to double the amount of time. So how long did this take to fall off? So we'll say from here to here. It's been 106 days. So I like to double or triple the time of my options for that rebound, because sometimes that's how long it takes. We should go to about 265, which puts us in like September. Actually, options only go to July. It doesn't seem like. Really, there's no leaps. No leaps on this. So I would do some kind of in the money option. I don't like to go out of the money. But they are kind of expensive. Let's see, looking. Yeah, I think it would be fine just from like an investment perspective to just buy the stock. But if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to leverage long this. If you wanted to leverage this, then I would buy something that's in the money, like at 215, 220, and then give myself a lot of time. And that's your safe leverage play. If you go out of the money, yeah, you can get a higher return, but you're going to deal with a lot of time decay, and this could sit down here and you'll get destroyed with the time decay with waiting. So better to do something in the money if you're going to go with options, or just buy the stock. I think that's the safest bet. Intrinsic value is 500. They're increasing efficiency of more digital platform. See, Sjord, if you like this from a fundamental perspective, we need some kind of bot at TRI where we can query about stocks, where I can go to our Discord, I can type in pool, tell me the fundamentals, tell me intrinsic valuation, and then it'll just spit it out. And I can show everyone on the stream here. That would be great. Because sometimes I look at charts and I'm like, this looks great, or this looks bad, and I have no idea about the fundamentals. But if we had a little TRI engine that I could just query in Discord, I think that would be highly valuable. Okay, so pool looks great. It's a buy for me. And Sjord approves from the FA perspective. Let's see, what else we got here? So another name, Can, if you want to play another Bitcoin proxy. Huge retrace here. Was in a very nice buy zone. Could potentially rebound. If Bitcoin can move higher, this could also move a lot higher. Very volatile name, so be careful. But I could see that. I don't see any reason why this can't go back to like $1.40 or something along those lines and give you a nice little W, or a little not a W, a nice double. Let's see if this was the low and this was the high. Just be conservative. 50% level is 1.4. That's, I mean, it's not a double, but it's close from current price levels, right? 75%. If you want to double, you go to 61.8 level. Very real possibility. Just a nice way to kind of play the crypto market if you don't have enough crypto exposure and you want more. Another one would be, so I bought options on ETHA, and I gave myself until the end of March. Sorry, no, end of February, and I bought in the money at $22. So now it's 24. It's up quite a bit today. So I'm just riding that, and if ETH can rock it, this will gain a lot of value. It looks like it wants the W here. potential W all the way up to 43. So that's where I could see ETHA going. You could even say that there's a potential for ABCD here. So this was like this is extreme. I don't think something like this is going to happen, but it's possible, right? And it can go to 66, right, like that. So 170% return, which we can look at the equivalent in ETH later. Also interesting AI play: Broadcom, AMD, Palantir. those are very common. Constantine. Symbol AI. Is that actually what is this? C3 AI. So I guess this is just some AI company. It looks like the weekly is yeah, it's finding a bottom. It does look like there's a bottom forming here. It's not bad. I actually like this. I don't know what the fundamentals are like. If we had that TRI tool, it would be nice to. But if it can hold this bottom, you can rocket to 26. Fill the gap here at 20, 21. You'll probably stall a little bit in this area, 22, and then eventually hit that 27 with a long shot target at 38. I like it actually. Not bad at all. Okay. What else? Yes, Jord, you should do a write-up. Thank you, Bearded Nerf Herder. Wow, I've not seen you in a while. Glad to see you watching on a stream. Maybe I should do more like Bangkok nighttime streams. It seems like a lot more people are definitely online. BKKT. Okay, let's take a look. Bach Holdings. What is this? What is Bach Holdings? Is it another crypto thing? It looks like something like another crypto, based on the price action. Yeah, we took off 13% or 30% already. And these things move fast. First target is around 18. I don't like that it's moved so much already. I would like to see some kind of pullback. So if we get the pullback, maybe I'll be interested in at alert. Yeah, it looks like a crypto, some kind of crypto thing. You can see how Bitcoin keeps pushing. So we'll probably go to 95K area. Maybe we even go to 97 before you eventually get a pullback. It's going to be, it's risky to jump in right now. Very risky. You wanted to get in down here in this area. Okay, so I mentioned I would talk about commodities. So weekly on oil honestly looks like it wants to cross over. Like this people might think oil's going to dump, but in the short term it could rally, right? It's going to take some time to figure out what Venezuela has and bring the production online. So in the short term, I could see oil actually rallying a bit. Yeah, you have a bit of a reversal here. Like that. You can see on a weekly, it's actually on the other side, and it wants to reverse. I could see that, happening. I don't know exactly where would we, what would be a target? Let's see here. Maybe 66. You might get a move to 66. I don't want to get too aggressive. 67. I mean, if this is your range for the last year. 63. Yeah, 68 to 72. Right here would be a decent area to expect. So I'd lean bullish on oil actually in the short term. And then eventually it should roll over, but maybe everyone's thinking it'll go down and that's why it's going to rally. It would make sense. Okay. Yep, BTC approaching 94K. Let's look at silver, right? So that was the big thing. It's still a thing. Don't forget about silver. So silver is pumping to 77. You can see, look at the levels. Look at how well this worked. So we broke out. This was the original like uptrend line. We broke out, and the minute we broke out, see how we just took off, boom. And we smashed right through my 4.669 chaos level, but we came back and tagged it. That shows you this was an important level. And then we went right up and we tagged the 8.77 level and we rejected from it. So these levels do mean something. They're not totally meaningless. And the next zone is 137, 138 area. I'm not sure if we're going to get to that. I really don't know. But as of right now, the uptrend is still intact, right? You do have a 7, 8, and 8 printing. So if silver follows the last time where it hit a 7, 8, and 9, then you pause for 5 to 6 bars. So like a month and a half. We've got 9 here, 5, 6. Probably we don't get the next move until February, end of February. It might just consolidate. So I wouldn't, I guess I wouldn't get too excited about silver here. It's still bullish. I don't see it pulling back massively. But if you were looking at options or something on silver, I wouldn't expect any extreme moves. And I would expect it to range for the next month or so. Let people get bored and forget about it. And then if it wants to go higher, rock it up to this 137 level. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on silver. Gold, a little bit less sure about that one. Gold had its run already. It's again printing a weekly 7, 8, and 9. I think I actually have this on a 2-week. No, it's not a 2-week chart. It's a weekly chart. And you can see how we're still in this uptrend. But we're going to consolidate again when we hit this 8 and 9 level before continuing higher. But I don't have specific targets on gold like I had on silver, although you can see how much it's moved. It was 1,850, now it's 4,500. I mean, this shows how broken the market is, right? In the 2000s. This is just, look at where it really started to go up, 70s. I think that was around the time the US was taking off the gold standard. Yeah, just like absolute insanity. But it didn't do anything from the 80s so for 20 years it did nothing. And then 10 years, massive rally. And then we had consolidation again for almost 10 years, right? 11, 2021, 2022. It did start to rally and did double by here. And now we've got the massive rally. So we can actually use this consolidation period to help us see what does chaos say about where we likely are headed. It's kind of the range here. So 4,800 and then eventually 7,700. And at the current slope, how long could that take? October 28th. October 2028 is when we could maybe hit 7,000 something on the current slope at the slowest pace. At the fastest pace, 2027, maybe even, yeah, 2027, and then 2028 at a slower pace. So somewhere in there, that's kind of your range for gold, and where I could expect it to see it go. Okay, those are my thoughts on the normal markets. But what about crypto? Everyone is interested in crypto. So again, we're on the other side of the downtrend line. We're in this up move. Now it's all about lower time frames. I mean, this is bull. This is a bull. And if this is your W, then the eventual target is 125 with major zone up here in this, especially this 2.618 and also this 1.618. But I like to see where it pauses first and pulls back before I kind of say, okay, this is the chaos zones. Because that first level is important to kind of discern where's like a good spot to consider any kind of longs and where your final target might be. But this is going to be a big area, 111, definitely a big area going forward. But this is a massive bullish breakout. I am long, as I mentioned, a bunch of altcoins, and I'm also long Bitcoin, but not as much as I would like to be. And I do want to enter more trades, but I'm a little bit cautious here because it's kind of in a no man's land. Like, yes, there's massive bullish momentum, but it could also just do something like this and then do that. So I guess it doesn't matter where you buy unless you're using some leverage. But if you are, you kind of want to wait for that pullback, which could go as low as 89K. But you might, Bitcoin doesn't usually give you a chance to get in. It just moves, and that's basically what's happening right now. Like on this 1 hour, this was a small pullback to stop out any longs, and now they're pushing it higher. It's following along with the stock market. That's normally what happens when you have liftoff like this, and it can continue. I don't recommend shorting this at all unless you like losing money. I really don't recommend that. If you miss the Bitcoin rally, there is still yeah, so you can see Ethereum also retraced, right? And then, I mean, look at this move, right, on a lower time frame. Let's see, price range. So wicked all the way down. So it moved 2% since right here. Basically, since market open, they took out the longs and then rallied. And that's normally what you see in a continuous uptrend like we're in right now. But you can also see that January 1st to 2nd, that was most of the move. All right, so you had a 6% move, and then since then you've only had a 2.5% move. The majority of the move happened when no one was paying attention, which is what markets do. And it's possible that this whole area, they're going to do something like this and then move higher. This is just this part was to get people to pay attention, then they bought, and then this is to liquidate them and then move it up. So just be cognizant of the potential for something like that to happen, and you're not in an optimal buying area. You're just not. Could it go higher? Yes. Can you buy here? I don't think it's a great idea. You have a daily TD9 as well. So not a great, Bitcoin looks better than Ethereum here. But both did break out. They have bullish momentum. The best you can hope for is a bit of a pullback before moving up. So don't short and hunt longs. See where you can get into a long. Even me, I'm hoping for some kind of a pullback because I want to get into bigger long trades. So that's kind of Ethereum. Look for these moves down into the 3,050, 3,100 area. It's not going to go lower than that at all. We can even look at liquidation levels right here. Pull up Ethereum, see if it loads the data. Go to 1 week. Again, I don't think liquidation levels work that well, but it doesn't hurt to look at them. So yeah, 2,950 area is like 3 billion. liquidations. If we go to a 3-day. But again, when you go this far out, it's hard to know which trades were closed out and are still open. You could see that 2,900, 2,850 area is pretty big. I have a hard time seeing us head that low, but it's possible you could get something to, and then that, or just here and then up, or we just go straight up. Those are the three scenarios. I don't see a scenario where we keep going down. That's not, I just don't see that happening. The stock market would have to crash. Something cataclysmic would have to happen to derail this whole thing, because you've got massive liquidity injections coming in. So yeah. Okay, what else? What else? I mean, we can look at things like Link, right? So I always talk about how much I like Link. And we can see it's the same as Ethereum, and the weekly's trying to recover. And you can see how we've got that nice W consolidation right here. And if we break out, the eventual target will be around 25, 26 area, continuing the range. And then we see if we're going to break out from that range and head higher up to this $40 area. So that's potential with Link. Do I really like anything else? Is there anything else I really want to talk about? Not really. I mean, we could sit here and talk about crypto coins forever, but I prefer to just focus on the big names, and you guys can look into the smaller ones yourself, and just know that alt season will come after Bitcoin has rallied a bit. Right now, you can see Bitcoin is dominating with BTCD, and eventually this will break down. I see this breaking down, but as of right now, Bitcoin's kind of the king, and you want to wait for this consolidation, which does kind of look like a very long bear flag. You want to wait for this to break down, and it will, and then you'll head down here to this 53% level. Solana, oh yeah, okay, you can look at Solana. Oops, that's not Solana. Yeah, nice move so far, 10%. See how well this arrow played out. What a mess daily. Yes, it's breaking out to the other side. This is quite the New Year's rally here. Very typical crypto to do this. So Solana actually is on the other side of this bear trend line, and it's looking very bullish. This is all extremely bullish. There's no TD9 prints of any kind here. It looks like it just wants to continue higher. You could say that this is actually your W bottom area, and this was your 1.618 tag, and we're going to head all the way up to 164 right here, aligning with this resistance area before any significant pullback. You could get a pullback like I mentioned here, something like that, but that's all you're going to get, down to like 129, 130. So if it comes down into those areas, I would just buy. Realistically, I would just buy. Now something like this where it pulls back right into here. You guys asked about Renner and FET. Okay. Holy crap. Some of these altcoins, 50%. Oh, it's so funny. Right on January 1st, I think this was 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve, and because my time is set. Yeah, I'm set to Bangkok time. So if we change it to like New York, this is literally New Year's Eve. And then the next day, everybody's still hungover. So these 2 days, enjoying with family, and the market's just pumping 20%, and then people have to FOMO in. That's literally what happened. And anybody that really enjoyed their holiday and wasn't watching the market, this is this is funny. So if you enjoyed your time with your family, you kind of basically missed this. Typical crypto. But this could move a lot. I mean, this could be big money, something like FET. I'd like to see some kind of pullback though. I'd be careful getting too overly bullish here. Could easily be a dead cat bounce. The weekly has not moved over yet. Daily looks very strong, but I would wait for that pullback. I think you need to look for that pullback and a bit of maybe a move down to this 50% 30-day VWAP at 0.23. I'm gonna set some alerts on this. Yeah, something like that. And someone also asked to look at H bar. Yeah, we can look at H bar. Yeah, looking similar, not as good as FET, but it's definitely crossing over on the weekly chart. Daily obviously looks bullish. Solid breakout. 1.618 area. Oh, looks decent. This one actually looks like could just continue higher. Attack your 1.618. I'd like to see some kind of pullback. I mean, it's difficult to recommend any kind of entries here. You're in a no man's zone area. See how they dumped it hard? This would have taken out any kind of leveraged longs, and then they just pumped it. That's generally what happens, and it's very hard to trade that if you're not just buying spot. And that's why this happens. They do this on purpose. So nice reversal on the weekly, but I think FET looked better. So Zerakella, regarding your questions about the post-Brian TRI, yeah, we are going to do special sessions with Sjord and I, where we're going to talk about things. And I think that, yeah, so Sjord's kind of answering. We're doing a revamp, new tools, contributions from OGs. We really want to bring the community in more so, and not make this a show about like one person. So we're focused on bringing OGs into the community and making sure that anybody that contributes is rewarded for that contribution. We're working on some really cool AI enables so much amazing stuff. So even just today, Sjord and I were talking, and we have some really good ideas for ways to reward people for participating in the community, and not just like a little title or some kind of trinket, but actual monetary rewards and recognition for providing content, trade ideas, things like that, contributing to the community. Our original idea was to give like lifetime memberships to people that took the school, but we realized like lifetime memberships, it didn't incentivize people to participate. So we're going to try something different that we both think will really help to incentivize members to want to participate, to want to post trade ideas. I mean, we have a couple members that already post a lot, and we're very thankful for that. And we wanna find ways to show recognition and to give back to the community. So that's that's a big part of the plan, and we'll have stuff to show every week going forward. I mean, we have to evolve. I think in the age of AI, a lot of stuff is changing, and we don't want to be like Blockbuster. So we're gonna make changes to evolve with that, and that includes, you know, maybe not having as many long form live shows. Maybe we do short form content. Maybe we update on Twitter a lot more, and we focus on things that we think people want. Yeah, that's all right. That's the minor update for now. Hopefully that explains some stuff. Where's Bitcoin going? Are we still heading higher? Look at, you see how it does this? It's in a no man's zone. Probably took out a lot of liquidity here. Have to be careful with that. You're buying in no man's zone up here. Wait for, if you want to be safe, wait for a retracement. But there's a high chance we're going, you know, up to 95K area at least here. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd use AI too much with trading, but it is definitely useful in certain ways, especially with fundamentals. Yeah, exactly what Stuart said. Especially profitable setups, we wanna reward that. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it. I will, as always, post a full show summary in my room. I think you guys like that, to be able to reference back. Just to, for anybody that hasn't seen in a while, the show summaries kind of look like this. So I just take the full transcript and I convert it into this easy to read format, so you can see everything I talked about and all of my thoughts. You can see, like 2 weeks ago, I also talked about turn, and I mentioned being short. And if you took that, you would be in nice profits. An Oracle as well, I bought at 178 and still looking for that gap fill at 220. You can see a couple. So building long exposure on MSTR, you can see that's working out. All of this is working out. This is everything. So if you're not already a member of the community, consider joining, because then you don't have to listen to me blabber, and you can just read the summary right here, market recap, and see everything I post. I'm always posting almost every day. Sometimes I don't post as much. Yeah, that's true. We're also gonna have to track, the AI is gonna even track my setups. Oh God. but that'll be fine, because most of them seem to work out. Okay. Any other questions before we call it? I'm gonna wait. I assume no other questions though. All right. Thank you, everybody. Hope you guys have a great week. See you in the Discord, and also see you on either Thursday night or Friday morning. I'll keep you posted. All right. Bye, everybody.